Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I have for you a new video, and this is recreating the look Sonam Kapoor wore to one of the events at the Cannes Film Festival. It's a great look for spring or summer, for a wedding or an event that you've got coming up. It's got soft pink pastel eyes with a bit of shimmer, and then a very nice and natural but still very defined and contoured makeup. So I hope you enjoy it, and if you like the look, please keep watching. So we're going to start everything off by moisturizing, and I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream, which is a fabulous base for makeup, and I'm just applying this all over my face, and it actually acts as a bit of a moisturizer and a primer at the same time. To follow, I'm using the Estee Lauder Idealist Cooling Eye Cream just to apply a little bit of moisture and a little bit of brightness underneath my eyes. I'm then going to follow with the Dior BB Cream, and I'm using this in the color Pêche Dorée. I'm not really sure if that's how you say it, and I'm just dotting this all over my face, and it's going to act as a bit of a base and also to lighten up my foundation and give it a lighter coverage. And then I'm going in with the Teint Touche Éclat by YSL, and I'm just dotting this over the BB cream. So I'm going to kind of mix them in, and this is going to help the foundation really stick to my face, make it really long lasting, and also give it a lighter coverage. I really like the Teint Touche Éclat by YSL because it really brings a lot of luminosity to the face. So the mixture of these two is going to look really nice, and it's also going to bronze my face up a little bit just because the BB cream is a little bit more goldeny than the foundation. I'm then applying this with fingers, just blending it in, and then I'm going to go in and blend it in fully with a damp beauty blender. Go in and do a little bit of color correcting with my CC Under Eye Corrector by Tarte, and I'm just going to take a concealer brush. This one's by Shu Uemura, and I'm just going to apply the tiniest amount because this is super pigmented, and I'm just going to correct any darkness underneath my eyes and also around my mouth and chin area. For concealing, I'm going to go in with the NARS Creamy Concealer. Sonam had a really radiant kind of glow underneath her eyes and also on like the center of her face, so this one's a really good one because it conceals and it kind of highlights and gives your face a really nice glow at the same time. So I'm going to apply a little bit underneath my eyes in a sort of inverse triangle shape, a little bit on my forehead, bridge of my nose, and the center of my chin, and then I'm also going to use it to cover any tiny blemishes that I've got around. By the way guys, excuse my horrible blocked nose kind of voice. I do have a bit of a cold at the moment, so please bear with me. I'm then going to use fingers just to blend everything in, and this is great because, like I've told you before, it just warms up the product and makes everything mesh nicely with your skin. And then I'll go in and finish blending using a beauty blender. I'm then going to go in with a cream contour, and I'm using the LA Girl Pro Conceal in the color Beautiful Bronze, and I'm just applying a little bit underneath my cheeks just to define the shape a little bit more, a little bit on my jawline and a little bit on the sides of my nose. Sonam naturally has a very chiseled face, which I don't, so I'm just using this to slim down my face a little bit and make my cheekbones a little bit more prominent, because although she didn't have a lot of contouring going on, because my face is not as defined as hers, I need to do a little bit more. I'm then using this Real Techniques brush to just kind of blend the product in a little bit just so that it isn't so harsh, and then I'm going to go in with a beauty blender and make sure that everything looks seamless. Go in with the yellow banana powder from the Anastasia contour kit, and I'm going to use this to set my under eye concealer, and then using a bigger brush I'm going to use it to set everywhere else where I highlighted with the concealer, so on my nose, my forehead and my chin. To set the rest of my makeup, I'm going to use the Chanel Universal Loose Powder, and I'm just going to apply this very lightly over my cheeks and around the perimeters of my forehead, the lids of my eyes, so anywhere where I didn't apply the yellow banana powder. I'm now going to move straight into eyes, and I'm going to start everything off using the Dior Mono Fusion eyeshadow in the color Meteor. It's a kind of shimmery, light brown, bronzy kind of shade. It's a cream shadow, and I've zoomed in a little bit so you can see better what I'm doing, and I'm just applying this with a fluffy flat brush to the crease of my eye just to kind of accentuate this area. I'm then going to go in with the Smoke shade in the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look in a palette, and using this fluffy blending brush by Sigma, I'm just going to apply this again over the area where I applied the shimmery Dior eyeshadow, just to intensify the crease even further and make it look like it's deeper set. And then using the Smoke shade from the Charlotte Tilbury palette in Sophisticate, I'm going to take a smaller blending brush, and I'm just really going to pack this into my socket line just to make my eyes look like they're a little bit more deep set like Sonam's. I'm then going to go in with the shimmery pink highlight shade from the Charlotte Tilbury Dolce Vita palette, and I'm just going to pack this in using a flat brush, and I'm going to put this on the kind of full eyelid, avoiding the outer corner, and then I'm also going to go into the inner corner of my eye using the same flat brush, just because Sonam had a really highlighted inner eye. Then using this pink blush by Charlotte Tilbury, it's in the color Ecstasy. I didn't have a pink eyeshadow, so I thought I would use a blush. I'm using the flat shadow brush again, and I'm just packing this kind of from the center of my eyelid all the way to the outer corner, just because Sonam had a very intense pink on the outer corner of her eyes. I'm then going to take a little bit of the brown shadow that I took earlier, the darkest one from the Sophisticate palette, and I'm just going to put this on my crease just because some of it seems to have faded away a little bit. I'm then going to go in with the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector by Jaclyn Hill in the color Champagne Pop, and I'm just going to put this to highlight underneath my brow bone using a smaller flat brush. Sonam had very highlighted golden shimmery tones underneath her brow bone, so I think this is a perfect match. Now using the darkest brown cool shade from the Charlotte Tilbury Sophisticate palette, I'm going to take a small angled brush, and I'm going to line all my lower lash line, and I'm going to do it all the way from the inner corner right out to the outer corner of my eye. Then using the same angled brush, I'm going to create a very small flick on the outer edge of my eye, not lining the upper lash line, just on the corner, just to imitate what Sonam had, and then taking a brown pencil, I'm going to just line my lower waterline. Take my Estee Lauder Stay in Place pencil, and I'm going to use this to line my upper waterline and tightline my lashes, making them look a little bit thicker. I really love this pencil because it really stays in place like it says by the name, and it doesn't transfer into your lower lash line. I'm then going to go in with my Kevyn Aucoin eyelash curlers and give my lashes a little bit of a lift. Sonam had pretty dramatic lashes, so I'm going to apply some falsies. They're not as dramatic as hers, but they'll give the eyes a bit of a lift. And then I'm going in with my Maybelline Push Up Drama Mascara just to enhance my lashes before applying any falsies. I'm applying 2 coats on the top lashes and 1 coat on the bottom lashes. brows, and I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury Brow Lift in the color Cara D, and I'm trying to kind of straighten out my brows a little bit. Sonam seems to have quite a straight brow at the front with a little bit of a arch going on towards the end, so I'm trying to straighten out mine as much as possible. I'm using the pencil to do this. I'm also thickening them out a little bit just because Sonam has thicker brows than I do, and once I've filled them in, I'm just going to go in with a spoolie just to brush them out and make them look a little bit more natural. Set my hair in place, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Clear Brow Gel, and I'm just going to use this just to make sure none of my hair moves around and kind of flops around throughout the day. Now for contouring, I'm going to go in with the bronze shade in the Charlotte Tilbury Instant Look palette, and I'm going to use this to just kind of warm up my complexion a little bit. I'm just using this on my cheeks, and then going in with the Anastasia Contour Kit using the coolest fawn shade. I'm going to just contour underneath my cheekbones, around my jawline, my forehead, and a little bit down the sides of my face just to slim my face down a little bit. I'm doing quite a lot of contouring like I told you before, just because Sonam seems to have a much slimmer face than I do. Sonam also has a much slimmer nose than I do, so I'm trying to slim down my tip, and I'm using the same fawn shade and applying this with a flat brush, creating two lines near the center of my nose, and then I'm using a fluffy brush just to blend this out a little bit. And then finally I'm going to go in with my damp beauty blender just to make sure everything is nice and seamless and you can't see any kind of harsh lines. Blush, I'm using the same one I used earlier for my eyes, the Ecstasy blush by Charlotte Tilbury, and I'm really liking this one because Sonam seemed to have a very rosy glow, so this is kind of perfect. It's got a little bit of a golden shimmer running through it, and I'm just applying this to my cheeks, avoiding the apples of my cheeks. Like I said earlier, Sonam's makeup was super glowy, so I'm going in with the Champagne Pop highlighter that I used earlier on my eyes, and I'm just going to highlight on the top of my cheekbones, a little bit above my brows, on the bridge of my nose, on the Cupid's bow, and a little bit on my chin. This one's great because it's super glowy, and I don't know if the camera is catching it, but it looks very kind of lit from within. For lip liner, I'm using the MAC Boldly Bare. Sonam has very plump lips, so I'm using this to just enhance the shape of my lips, make them look a little bit thicker, and I'm also going to blend it out very nicely with the lipstick brush, just because the line on Sonam's lips was very subtle. For lips, I'm using this soft, peachy, corally, shimmery shade by Revlon, which is almost a perfect match to the colour Sonam had on her lips, and I'm using a lip liner to apply this. And there you have it, guys, that's the final look. I hope you enjoyed the video. It's a great look for any kind of summer parties or summer weddings you've got coming up, a very youthful, glowy look. So I really enjoyed doing this. I hope you enjoyed it as well, and I will see you in my next video. Please don't forget to click that subscribe button and follow me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. I've left all my social media links on the screen, and I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!